Hello, this is Jason Wong. I'm the Hawaii broker here in Hawaii. Thank you for watching my channel. Okay, today I want to talk about something very interesting. I don't even call it as a customer or client, okay? So it's just kind of like a casual conversation on my way back to Honolulu from Dallas in one of my real estate conference that I attend in Texas. And there's a passenger sat next to me, okay, and then when we kind of exchange about like what kind of job you are doing, he got to learn about I am a realtor. Actually, I'm not just a realtor; I'm a realtor broker. So the conversation continue, and this gentleman, he is so curious to learn more about, especially here in United States. We have a lot of different type of real estate brokerage operation, I would say style, okay? And also because nowadays a lot of platform are driven by social media, or I should say data driven, okay? A lot of data driven platform. And some of the brokerage, they took advantage of that and they make it more like, I would say like a wholesale and kind of like a uh, mass market. They do volume. Okay, so basically what they do is they promise you about, okay, if the property got sold, they only charge X amount of dollar, a fixed amount of dollar for the listing side, but on the cooperating, which is the buyer's agent side, usually they do recommend the seller to kind of give a fair share to the buyer's agent, because we haven't come to the terms like in Vancouver real estate in Canada, where there a lot of competitive co-op commission, which sometimes Vancouver real estate realtor, I should say, Vancouver realtor, they may have some their own personal opinion about certain brokerage conduct. But anyway, we are talking about US, not Canada, in this segment. So I'm just coming back to Hawaii real estate. So yeah, so there will be some real estate brokerage that they will be kind of promise you upfront about a set amount of dollar. For example, they will only charge you. I'm just giving you an example. $500, okay, $500 for the listing side, okay, if you're close, and then the buyer side, then the seller have to pay. So the buyer, and the advantage that usually these brokerages will advocate will be, the listing will be online, and all the showing will be arranged, and also there will be photos and blah blah blah. Okay, so they will make it sounds like it's a kind of full service contract, okay? And you know what? There's nothing wrong about that, okay? That's the one of the model that we are quite popular here in Hawaii. And then the other kind of like the other spectrum of the model is traditional, conventional way of operating. Like we're talking about international or global franchise or national franchise. Usually these are big franchise, which you kind of like know them like for many decades, okay? And they will be just follow the same conclusion. Is more personal. The brokers or agents that you have appointed to market your properties will be also provide all the full service services. And but the commission rate, again, in the marketplace, is always negotiable. We don't have a standard commission rate. We don't have a normal commission rate. Commission rate is always negotiable between seller and the brokerage. And the thing is, most at this time, most of the general consensus that you will see in the marketplace is 6% of the final sales price would be these national brokerage house will be asking the seller to pay up. So usually it will be 3% on the seller side, seller's agent or lister, and then 3% for the buyer's agent. And so you have two extreme, okay? One extreme is people will be just charge you a very small nominal amount, like $500, okay? And the other one will be at 6% of the sales price. Okay, this is really based on the homeowner I would say, their own style, okay? There's no one model can fit all the demographics of the people, okay? So the demographics is basically about what type of a client do you think you are. So if you look at yourself in front of a mirror, you kind of know about whether you're like or dislike or your own preference, okay? Are you what I call a very high maintenance individual? High maintenance means you have a lot of requirement. You expect the realtor or the brokerage to provide these bullet lists of services that you require them to do it, okay? First and foremost would be sometimes homeowner, if they are selling multi-million exquisite like property, or I would say like a very trophy for properties, like a penthouse, or the house or the condo has a lot of unique artwork, and you want to make sure whether the realtor that you are going to sign on, will that realtor be the realtor who will do all the showing for you, okay? So this is really important. A lot of time, especially for out of state homeowner or seller, I should say, they have no idea who is actually open the door and show the property, okay? I don't want to give a scary story, but it actually happens in Vancouver before. In Vancouver, I used to work in Shaughnessy neighborhood. So if anybody knows Vancouver, you know Shaughnessy is one of the most prestige neighborhood in the west side of Vancouver. And I'm one of the, that's actually one of my market segment when I was doing it, my real estate practice there. And you won't believe there's a mansion for sale. I am my overseas buyer, and I you know, just to think about already kind of like give me goosebumps. The listing agent didn't show up, and the listing agent just put a lockbox, okay, lockbox on the gates, and we are talking about a very expensive mansion, okay, and there's a furnishing inside. So I got the lockbox code, and back then we don't have like a Bluetooth or anything like that. You know, we are still kind of like internet was invented, but it wasn't really used at the extreme of right now that everything like showing and lockbox and everything can use the Bluetooth and your smartphone to kind of validate whether you are the real that person who is open up the lockbox, and the listing agent is able to kind of track. Back then, no, you just have kind of like a master lock with 3-digit combo, and you kind of like set the combo, and then you get the key, okay? The garage door, everything, okay? Oh, for this mansion, so funny. I got the key, and then my buyer and myself, we walk inside this mansion. Wow, I cannot believe it. There are lots of expensive artwork. I mean, even if they are replica, you know what? I can tell, like, those are not regular collection, okay? And then when we walk into the master bedroom, the walk-in closet full of Chanel, Gucci, Armani, you name it, you will find it, okay? all the expensive label clothes are there, and on top of the nightstand, they actually have two Rolex, and there's no security camera in the mansion, okay? Okay, so now you know what I'm trying to tell you, okay? Sometimes it's nice to kind of like a budget about like what type of how much money you are going to net at the end of the transaction when you resell your property. But I think during the marketing phase, you need to know your realtor really well. I mean, in a way that you want the realtor to tell you, be fair, honest, whether they are the one who is going to show for every showing, or they're going to just put a lockbox on the property, okay? So that's a huge difference. If it's a vacant property and you don't have any expensive appliances, okay? Okay, another scary story. There are some homeowner, the appliances, before they put it on the market for sale, they put in all those brand new stainless steel appliances. And then the listing agent, they put a lockbox on it. And you know, how the story ended up, right? So some of the appliances actually went missing, and then the brokerage end up have to kind of like pay back to the homeowner for the missing appliances. Okay, so anything can happen. Okay, so as a homeowner, whether you're living on the premise or you are out of state, or that this is your second property, you want to find out whether the agent will be there, and whether it's that agent who signed the contract with you will be there. Okay, so if that agent have 10 assistants, okay, not 2 assistants work alike. Okay, I've seen enough. Some of the assistants, they're very diligent. They're actually more diligent than the listing agent. So I always have a lot of good rapport with those diligent assistant team. But some other assistants, they're so new. They're so new and they're so green. And to me, it's like they are kind of just a doorman, okay? Just to open the door, and that's it. So the thing is, you basically having a brokerage, or I should say just having a so-called a team to sell your properties with not knowing about like whether they pay enough lip service to kind of like highlight the features to the potential buyer and the investor about the property. So that's why sometimes it's so funny. You see some awesome properties, okay? You really see it's well priced, and the location, orientation, everything is perfect, okay? The amenities that comes with it, you know. How come the property has been sitting in the database for that long? Now you you can start asking questions in your head. So so the thing is, if let's say you are finding a broker or agent, they are going to do everything, okay, like full service on the properties, taking professional photos, video, walkthrough, and also they are doing all those flyer, brochure, open houses, and also show for every one of the showing, okay, for any potential buyer like coin. I have to be honest with you, we as an agent or broker, we don't get paid until the transaction got closed successfully, and then the escrow can disperse the fund to the brokerage that we hung our license with. Okay, so the thing is, if a listing didn't get sold, all those time, hours, weeks, months, really, I mean, in Hawaii real estate, usually the lead time to get a property sold much longer than mainland. Okay, so that is another thing that I probably may start another segment and talk about why it took so long to get a property sold here in Hawaii in general. But in the essence is, if a broker or agent is going to roll up the sleeve and doing all the work, and you still don't think that agent or that broker deserve to have the right type of compensation, then you know what, again, that's your personal style of choosing the right brokerage. On the other extreme spectrum, okay, is these are mass market brokerage, okay? They charge you $500 for the listing, okay, doing everything. Now, just look at the contract, okay? There was a time a brokerage promised about $500 as a flat fee upfront, regardless whether it gets sold or whatnot. Okay, so here's the thing. It's different from the other spectrum of the brokerage where they will only get paid out when the transaction was closed successfully by the escrow. Here's not. Whether you get sold or whatnot, you have to pay that $500 upfront, okay? And then if it gets sold, then that's good for you. If it didn't get sold, you lost that $500. And then we have other brokerage that they will say, okay, you know, I'm not going to charge you that $500 upfront. However, they may have some custom addendum to tie you up, saying about if the listing expires. So let's say by the expiration date, you still cannot get it sold, like the brokerage still cannot get it sold. They may have an addendum saying about if you decide not to relist or not to do anything, you may actually have to pay out some of the advertising expenses that this discount brokerages that they incur maybe some of the newspaper ad or some of the flyer, even maybe the overhead for the admin who do data entry for the listing. They may come back and charge you for that, okay? So read the contract, okay? Most of the conventional franchise, the big franchise, the template for the listing contract is quite standardized. We use Hawaii Association of Realtor like standard template, and if there's any addendum attached, it was more like a disclosure saying about there maybe a potential having dual agencies. Again, that would be something I will be talking in later segment. May have dual agency and just want to kind of like being upfront with the homeowner, knowing about there may be a chance that a buyer may came through directly, or there may be another realtor within the brokerage that they, since they belong to the same brokerage, so even they have the buyer represented by another agent, but since the agent is the same house, then that's also create a dual agency situation. But I will kind of talk more about that. So here's coming back to the main topic. So and also, okay, one of the most major thing that you have to watch out with mass market brokerages, not watch out, I would say some of the thing that I think you should really kind of like know about it. Okay, so without kind of dive into the risk, I use another analogy. Let's say you go to Costco, okay, and first it's about you go to your favorite Whole Food, okay, Whole Food supermarket, okay. In Whole Food, everything is kind of like a la carte, you know. If you want this carton of milk, you will just buy this, or you like these eggs, you can just buy one rack. But in Costco, the model for them is wholesale, okay, mass. You know, they want to kind of like get volume. So the thing is, when you buy eggs, you're not just buy 12 or buy a dozen. You're buying like maybe 3 dozen of egg at one time. And also for anything, you know, it's just speed is the money, okay, for Costco. So for these kind of discount mass market brokerage, they base everything by volume. So the thing is, you think as a homeowner, you are being smart about like you only pay $500 for the listing and save yourself money. Okay, here's the thing. Do you think your property will be treated like one of the one of the merchandise that you have maximum exposure of it, and also have the how should I put it more diplomatic way? Do you want to get the maximum exposure for your property to the widest audience? Okay, I know we all use HTML and all of these, but the thing is, okay, let's say if a discount brokerage, they only charge $500, okay, it's so cheap, okay, and they go and took over, let's say 100 listings, okay. Really, I mean, sometimes you hear about some brokerage, they are so proud saying about they sold 100 properties in a quarter, or even maybe in a month, okay, 100 properties. Actually, this is something that I also heard in the mainland, may not be in Hawaii, because Hawaii, the lead time for a unit gets sold actually took more time. So, but in the mainland, when I went to the real estate conference in Texas, I actually heard about some of the brokerage, broker owner, you know, they own the brokerage. They did 100 units per month, okay, 100 units plus. And the thing is, the model, how they do it is really kind of like a streamline, more like an inhuman, more non-personal way, you know, like. So, for example, they don't have like a dedicated person. It's more like everybody, most people in those office will be kind of like on salary, okay? So they are just a salary employee for that brokerage, and the purpose is they have a very distinct function in the whole real estate I would say ecosystem. They one person will be responsible just to get listing in, okay, just to kind of like the cover page, okay. Usually it's the broker owner, you know, they are the cover cover person. So they are the lister, okay? They are the power closer. They go out, they will go and hunt for these listing, okay? So the thing is you spend like a 1 hour or 2 hours with this person talking about you want to list with them because it's $500 so cheap, right? And then all the contract and everything, then they have a dedicated back office administrator to kind of like deal with the contract. So by that time you're talking to a different person, okay? And then they have a dedicated maybe a marketing person, or maybe they have the same person who is doing the back office admin work to come out, take photos and doing this and that, okay? And then the admin person will be also do all the data entry. So when there's any showing coming in, okay, so here's the thing. Most of the homeowner you don't know, and I'm happy to kind of explain to you. Most of the broker, if they what I call the more personal, some of the broker owner they are more like a personable approach, which means they actually will do everything on their own, like a showing and everything, picking up calls, responding to any inquiry from the marketplace about the property. So these broker are the traditional way of how to do real estate business. But for these first streamlined discount brokerage, don't forget they may have more than 100 or even 200 listings at any given point in time. Okay, versus about these kind of like a more personal brokers, on the side where they may have 3 or 4 listings. But every one of the owner for those 3 or 4 listings, they are the VIP. Okay, they are this broker's VIP. They will be giving them the full attention about it. So if you call them, if you have any questions as a homeowner, and also want to get a traffic report about like how many people saw it, can you follow up this and that? Because the realtor is managing maybe 3 or 4 listings, he or she actually will be happy to kind of give you a more like a thorough, in-depth analysis about what is really going on since the property got listed. Now we dive into the brokerage that they have 100 or 200 listings marketed by the same team, okay? So that one, the listing agent will never have the time to go out and open the door. I mean, let's be realistic, there are only 24 hours in a day, okay? If the listing agent, his or her primary business is to get listings for the pipeline, they won't be the one who will be opening the door for you, okay? So there's always a catch about why it's $500 or a very low fee upfront. Is because the person actually doing the service is not the person that you thought you hire for, okay? So this is like you put your property like in kind of like a wholesale system, okay? So they kind of like bundle everything, and if it is a vacant property, I would say very likely your property will be just shown by the lot box, so there won't be any in person. I mean, they can request, but the thing is it really depends on the manpower of the team. Some of the more well-developed discount brokerage, they may be able to afford more salary staff on the team. But also for those team members, they may restrict about number of days or hours, because let's say they have 100 listings, okay, in the inventory, and they want to, and Oahu actually is not that small, and we do have traffic issue, okay, during peak hours. So the thing is that they want to consolidate showings at certain time frame. So they don't really care about the buyer, the investor time frame, because they just don't have the time, to kind of drive back and forth from one side to the other side of the island. So the thing is more or less exposure wise, yes, you will get 24/7 exposure on the internet, but the actual showing, if it is not shown by the lockbox with those brokerages, you really kind of limit yourself. So the thing is when you list with this discount brokerage, I have to be honest with you, you kind of prepare about your home will be shown by lockbox, then I think you probably will get good mileage of it, because lockbox can be shown 24/7. But one thing that I do have to warn you is that if you still have furnishing inside, or if you have appliances and stuff, you do want to send in your friends or a personal caretaker to kind of go in and take a look. Sometimes I do see property got damaged, like or like whether it's the door, the windows, or floor and stuff. So unless you really don't care about the properties that you are liquidating, okay, so and be my guest, like you can do whatever you like. But most of the homeowner, if they have some belongings, they do want to make sure like everything is being well looked after. Don't get me wrong, those are discount brokerage. They sometimes they also will send their own maybe a handyman or whoever is kind of like a driving through, but usually it's really on request only, because let's face it, if they have 100 properties, if 100 owner ask them to kind of like drive to their own home and check on the water, the kitchen, the power, and this and that, they won't be able to service that. They have to increase the manpower a lot more, which kind of eat up the profit of them. Okay, remember, you are only paying $500 to them, and so the thing is, there's always a drawback when you are putting yourself into these kind of like a mass volume operation. But other than that, you know what? Contract is contract. So if there's offer coming in, depends on which type, the model, how these discount brokerage run. They usually may have what I call the closer or negotiation party on the team to kind of like facilitate the negotiation between offer or counter offer. And then after everything is done, then they may be having the transaction management team member to kind of like manage the all the contingency being removed and also report to the escrow. So I have to be honest, if you kind of compare apple to apple between traditional franchise versus about the mass market discount brokerage, it's really about the homeowner style. Some homeowner, they treat the property they treat it like a piece of clothing. So the thing is, they don't have any attachment to it. So whether the property being how it was being shown on market, they don't really care. They just want to see it close. Then you know what? That would be perfect avenue, because you do save money. I think the bottom line for those are discount brokerages, you do save money. Like that is undeniable. You do save money, but I have to be honest. 99% of my clients that I've dealt with, even they are wealthy, each of the property that they have is still have some not just sentimental value, but they do care. They do care about the properties. Okay, so the thing is, they more or less they do care about like how the property is being upkept. During the whole marketing period. Okay, and they also want feedback. Who wants to kind of like sit in the best seat and not knowing about what is really going on? Okay, so 99% of the homeowner, they do want certain feedback, more than just automatic systems report generated by email, or they want more like concrete things from actual person. Okay, ideally will be the listing agent who came in and took over the listing, will be the person who have the most in-depth and intimate knowledge about how was the showing, what are the feedback. Even the property didn't get sold immediately, but at least as a homeowner, you kind of know about the taste and the style of these incoming traffic, and then you may adjust. For example, if people they don't like the paint color, or they find the flooring is a bit worn, then do something about it. Do something about it, and help to kind of like sell it with top dollars in the shortest amount of time. Okay. Again, there's no right or wrong about like which style of the brokerages that as a homeowner you pick, but there's always a catch for certain things that seems to be too cheap, or I don't want to use the term catch. Sorry, I should take that. It's not a catch, but there's always a realistic expectation you should have. Okay, and one of the I now remember one other important thing. Make sure when you prepare to give the listing to this agent, okay, you take a look at how many listings this agent currently have in the inventory. I have been the homeowner seller position many times, okay, in my life. And it doesn't mean I will be using myself as the listing broker, because sometimes it's like a surgeon, you know. Surgeon, they don't like to operate on their own family members in the operation room. And if you don't know, just Google it, you know, because you have too much attachment. And you may make mistake because of those attachment you have with the person on the operation table. Same with the house properties. If the realtor, they own the property, they always blindsided by all the features, why they think this property is so awesome and why it has to price at this a premium price point, okay? So I make the same mistake, okay? So this is a common human nature thing, okay? So the thing is, at one point I realized about I cannot really market my own, you know. But I do know about a certain very good peers, you know, that I can rely on, and I will have them to kind of like take control and have them to list and sell for on my behalf. And I think it's very important as a homeowner, you check on how many listing a potential agent that you want to have this agent to market, whether they can service it, okay? I know this sounds kind of silly, but trust me, more than 80% of the time, I have homeowner always ask me, where do I live? They want to know where's my residence, okay? And they're seasoned seller, okay? So they are not first-time seller, okay? And they're so savvy, because the thing is, yes, we have car, we can drive from one place to another place, but it doesn't really make it too easy. I mean, there will be some diligent realtor when they start. They will really dedicate their own time and their car, the gasoline, to drive from top to bottom, left or right of the island to kind of get something sold, okay? So don't discount those new agent, okay? But there's a lot more seasoned agent, you know, in the business for a long time, and they kind of build their own reputation about one of the mover shaker in certain neighborhood, okay? Let's put it in this way. And they do cherry pick about the type of property. And sometimes it's very funny about like just because you have a relationship, like maybe you buy and sell with this broker in the past, or maybe you have a relationship like whether it's a relative, friends, and something like that, you have to kind of being a bit more diligent to think deeper. Usually these seasoned professional, they also have a full family life or personal life, I should say. And more or less, they do want to limit the amount of time that they expose to the traffic. Oh, don't get me wrong, they work 7 days a week, okay? But for the amount of traffic to them, if they are stuck in H1 highway for 2 hours during peak hours to do a showing, they will be telling themselves about, for that 2 hours, how many things they can do, how many calls they can make, you know, how many potential listing they may listing appointment they can come up with. So the thing is, a lot of time, you as a homeowner, you thought, oh, you know what, I'm giving you 6% commission, okay? And of course, that realtor friend of yours will be happy to accept it, but deep down they don't appreciate for that listing, okay? So now, I just want to be upfront about it. Rather, you should kind of look for a realtor who may not have too many inventory at the moment, and those actually will be your best bet, okay? I find if an agent carry more than 6 to 8 listings at a time, and also if the listing is kind of like in different part of the island, I think that is kind of the maximum one person can do. If they are a couple or a team, then that's a different story. But if it is just a one person, I think 8 listings, and if the price reasonably, we're not talking about 8 listings, those are 10 million, 20 million, like a waterfront, oceanfront villa, or those are really expensive penthouses, you know, like in a brand new condo. I'm not talking about those. If those some agent, they specialize in that, you know, they get bunch of those 19 million this and 18 million of that, and they may have like a 10 or even 12 listings of those, okay, houses and here. they can service those. Okay, so that actually no problem, because the chance for having a qualified and serious buyer to come in to pick up a $19 million properties, it happens, but it's not like everyday things. Okay, however, if you look at these agents, they are the kind of like the median price, average price that they are selling is a sellable price point, like not super expensive. Everything pretty much for a house under million or for condos under 500,000. Oh, you know what? Those will be kind of like sometimes will be going like a hot cake. It's really fast to see those property to go. And if these agent they have 8 of these type of listings and in different part of the city, I think you may want to look for alternative agent, who have less inventory and can give you like a better service, because they have the bandwidth to kind of like oversee the whole marketing period cycle, actually marketing cycle. So again, thank you so much for watching this segment. This actually is going kind of long because I kind of like brought up so many things bubbling in my head and I just keep talking. I hope you do enjoy this, and again, subscribe my channel, turn on your notifications, so whenever there's any update, you will see my segment the first. And also, if you have any comment, you're welcome to leave a comment down there or send me a personal email. And if you have any topics or any questions that you want me to produce a segment based on, again, don't be shy, just let me know. Thank you for watching.